Hello, and welcome to Belting at Windmills, a proud member of the Doof Network, where we're expositing James S. A. Corey's novel series, The Expanse. I'm longtime Expanse fan, Elliot Diebold.
And making my first journey up the well, I'm Ruben Morehouse. This week we're finishing our coverage of Abaddon's Gate, chapters 47 all the way through to the epilogue. Woo! In the chapters this fortnight, Holden and Bull try their best but can't really succeed until Anna and Clarissa come in and save the day for them.
We always knew Clarissa would come and save the day.
Well, we hoped.
No, let's get into it because I'm really excited to talk about fucking everything. But yeah, I really like the ending to this book.
If you had told me at the start of the book that it ends with like a few chapters of people just slowly going up and down elevators, I'd be like, this is gripping. But it actually, you know what? It actually is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like the extension. I always talk about how the Expanse gets so much action out of people bolted into chairs.
Yeah, true.
And I guess this is like they're like book 3, we've got to change it up. What about instead of sitting in chairs, they're like sitting in an elevator?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because they are in space. So there's not like I don't know. And it's not a setting where they can be like I don't know, flying around or visiting like crazy planets or like real
Well, not yet.
Stargate shit. Yeah, true. I guess literally the Stargates are open by the end of this book, so maybe in the future. But yeah, it's been pretty grounded, which obviously is good for the type of story that it is, but also you want it to go crazy, right?
I think they still managed to. Like, there's something very fun about this being it's something like 2 kilometer long elevator shaft
Yes, yeah,
that's
true.
in 0G, so they're kind of just swimming up it.
Yeah.
And like that's alien enough for me at least.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like it. And it's a good it's a very like easy to grasp visual to indicate the pincer that they're
Yeah.
kind of caught in over the course of these chapters, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I remember I had more trouble following the layout of this confrontation in the show than I did in the books, which is
Oh, interesting.
yeah, abnormal. I feel like usually I'm bad at, for whatever reason, at visualizing the way spaces are linked in stories.
Mm,
Um, and so like usually this sort of scene would confuse me, but it was in the show that I was sort of like, wait, what? What direction? What? Anyway,
mm,
but yeah, let's get into it. Because yeah, I want to talk about all of it. So yeah, Holden is slowly making his way up. Yeah, this 2 kilometer elevator shaft that goes between engineering and command, and the elevator is like, I guess, locked down about halfway along that, so it kind of serves as a nice halfway point check mark.
mm.
Um, and basically, Holden and Corrin get there, and everything seems to be going fine until Bull tells him that they've just spotted the Ashford's people who've dressed up in the Martian battle suits. Uh,
Uh-oh.
and the only sensible thing for them to do is go down the elevator shaft. So it's now Holden and Corrin each wielding, I think, a pistol, versus 4 people in, bobby armor, basically.
Yeah. Um, they're really impenetrable. I guess we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But at this point, I was kind of like, you know, they're in Bobby's armor, but they're not Bobby, right? So I kind of have this picture of like, yeah, it'll be tough, but Holden and Corrin could totally do this. And then, given the way things happen go later, they obviously can't. They couldn't
Yep.
have. So, yeah, Holden, I guess, really does kind of accept his death for a bit here, rightfully.
Yes. Yeah, I think
Uh,
because we'd only seen these suits used by professionals, we didn't know how much were
yeah,
the suits were OP or how much of the dry. And yeah, I think what we're about to see is that the suits themselves are just really fucking OP. Even more so if you've got someone driving them who knows what they're doing. But like these belters kind of prove you don't need to, and you can still be ridiculous.
yeah, I'm kind of impressed with Mars for how much they've been able to make these OP Martian Marine suits that seem to be. I mean, you don't hear about the equivalent of the Earther Marines or the OPA Marines with these suits, right? Like Mars is doing good shit. Clearly, their weapons tech is top notch. So good job.
Yeah. Um, I think we have had a few mentions of Earther ones, but yeah, they don't seem to be. I don't know. They haven't, at least on screen,
Yep,
demonstrated.
haven't seen him on screen. That's for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to call out. I really like Holden here. He he basically thinks to himself, they'd made a plan, and so far everything was more or less going the way they'd hoped. The thought left Holden increasingly terrified. And this is, of course, right before he finds out that, he's about to get assaulted by 4 Martian Marines. Oh, sorry, 4 Belter Marines in Martian armor.
Yeah.
But I really like this line because it was like Holden's finally starting to realize he's the protagonist. He's like, things are going well. I don't like that.
Yeah, he's starting to get a bit meta aware of the fact that he's always going to have a bit of trouble coming his way.
Holden's like, but I can see there's 6 more chapters left after this.
Well, that brings me quite neatly to my question for you, Elliot, which is
Yeah.
so obviously I know that there's 9 books here, right? So I kind of have this picture of, I would be surprised, I think, if Holden died at the end of one of these trilogies. It's not impossible, but it would be pretty surprising. And it makes me curious, like, when these books were first coming out, was it originally planned to be a trilogy and then they just kept writing more? Or, like, what was known when this book released? What did people know about the books that were coming out next? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I am not 100% sure. Like, I probably need to look this up more, but like, I do remember that they were kind of, they only got the one novel at first, Leviathan Wakes, and then I think when that was successful, they got commissioned to write Caliban's War and Abaddon's Gate. So I think like
Mm,
when they were writing this, they were presumably writing it thinking it could be an ending point. But
mm,
like by the time this came out, it had probably already been announced that there was like a
mm.
fourth one.
Okay.
So yeah, like I don't, but like it wasn't one of those like, yeah, we're gonna do 9. I think for
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
it, it was like we're getting a few more books, and then I think I do remember being a fan, and like when they announced like 7, 8, 9, they're like, and this is the final trilogy.
Mm. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Interesting. I'll have more thoughts on that as we get towards the ending of this book, I
Yeah,
think. But it's interesting to me to think about that when Holden is throwing off death signals in this chapter, and I'm kind of like, well, Holden, I know you're not going to die.
yeah,
I'm kind of curious what the. It's good to try and keep in mind what the original experience was, I guess.
yeah. I mean, I'm curious if there might have been an alternate ending that they were sort of keeping in their back pockets if they got word that there wouldn't be a fourth book.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, true.
like yeah, I don't know exactly when the timeline. I do have like a little time. No, I've only got dates like when the books were released and stuff. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, but
um,
I guess to jump ahead a little bit, like I do think the ending of this book, it obviously ends with there being more to play with in this universe if they continue
yeah,
to write books, which they obviously did. But I do like the ending of this book. Like it, despite the inciting incident kind of being alien tech related, I've been kind of surprised at how much the story is about human conflicts and reactions to those situations, right? Like there haven't really been a lot of um the story hasn't been about aliens really at all.
yeah, yeah,
It's about humanity's reaction to the events that are taking place here, which I think is like cool. And so the ending of this book being a point of inflection for humanity where it can have some hope and some exploration and some, you know, um, but imagination again, I think is like really a neat ending place. And I wonder how well that will, well, how that will persist as we presumably get more alien. I mean, I guess I don't know. I could see it all still being just about humans' reactions to things, but I feel like we're gonna have to get some more aliens eventually, right? They keep setting them up, so we'll see, I guess.
yeah. No, I definitely agree. Like so this was where the show first got cancelled. Like I remember,
Mm-hmm.
it was the end of season 3. They basically finished off Abaddon's Gate in the show.
Yeah.
and then Sci-Fi canceled it. And it
Mm.
was like it really was. It was like, I can't believe you'd end it there. This is so clearly the start of the next exciting chapter, which
Mm.
I knew because I'd read the books. But like, I do think it's like, yeah, if you were going to end it somewhere that's not the actual ending, this is
Mm.
like the start of a
It's not a
next
bad
chapter. But
ending. Yeah.
yeah, but it's the finish of of the first one. Like, it is sort of like, okay, yeah, like humanity has kind of got out of their own fucking way seemingly, and now we've unlocked the next stage, and that is exciting and kind of like, well, yeah, like when we get to the epilogue, it does sort of leave you with this sense of, okay, like, now like that chapter is over and we start chapter two,
Yeah.
and that's a fair place to leave it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess on a related note to this, coming back to the chapter, a good chunk of the first half of this chapter is basically Holden recapping his own character arc.
Mm.
Like he starts thinking about Naomi, and then he's thinking about how he treated Naomi before the Canterbury blew up, and then he's like, oh no, I was shaped by Miller and Fred, and now I'm less of a righteous asshole. Um, so that's just very, like, I guess funny, like you said, that I think that's probably some of the death flags that you were
Yes. Yes.
like referring to, but um, it's just very funny to kind of, I guess, at the end of the first trilogy, have Holden just sort of be like, and here's my character arc if you forgot. Um, and there's a really fun part, I guess, because like watching a character reflect on their own arc is fun. And specifically, Holden makes note of the fact that the only reason why he didn't like slip back into full like nihilism is because he thought he was chosen by the new Miller, or that he is chosen. But like, he's like, well, yeah, things suck, but like the alien did pick me
Mm.
via Miller.
Mm.
And yes, this is feeding my Messiah complex a little bit, but like, I guess that's better than me just giving up.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah. But if the Martian, marine suits had come down this elevator, he would totally have died. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm kind of like, yeah, he's kind of like resigning himself to his fate in this section, and I'm
Hmm.
just like, I find it quite interesting because he's at the same point like resigning himself to death with thoughts like, had the love of Naomi, and that's more than most people get, or whatever he thinks.
Yeah.
But also being like, and I'm the chosen one of the new alien god. But like, Billy, sorry, Holden, you might be about to die, buddy. So do something.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
I think it's more, it's like, well, at least I had stuff going for me.
yeah, true.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go out like with good vibes.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
an alien
Fair.
picked me, and now he's gonna have to learn how to manipulate someone else's brain with quantum
Mm.
entanglement or whatever the fuck. Like, suck it. Um,
Yeah, true. Who would be Miller's second choice? Do you think?
well, I wonder if, like, do you think Miller gets demoted if Holden dies? Like, the protomolecule's like, no,
Oh,
you
interesting.
picked a
Yeah,
dud.
yeah.
And
So
then
it'll be
like,
someone else who died on Eros, and he'll start connecting with their, friend or
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Now Julie gets a shot and she picks Clarissa.
Well, yeah, true. It could be Julie and Clarissa. I could see that happening.
Um, but anyway, this is all kind of moot because Holden readies himself to die, but then doesn't, because again, he is the protagonist. But um, basically, Ashford's men assumed more was going on in the elevator shaft than really was. Like, they thought there
Yep.
was more going on than just Holden and Corin with pistols.
Whoops.
Um, so uh, they stop the drum spinning, which is again another massive inertia change. Fucks everyone inside the drum up, but it now lets the people in the Martian armor just sort of cruise through the drum and go to engineering that way. So,
Mm.
um, hilariously, now Holden's mission is go back to command, which was the original plan, but also we couldn't gas them. So it's the two of you against like 15 better armed individuals.
But no Martian marine suits now, so that's good. I mean, they didn't really, I guess, know about that before this chapter, but we knew about it.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it makes more sense to take a 2 versus 15 with normal guns and no Martian armor than 2 against 4 Martian armors. But it's still
Yeah.
like, if those are your two options, you got to reevaluate how you ended up here. You know?
Yeah, totally. In my mind, I was like, oh, great, they have better odds now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
good.
They went from 1 in a billion to 1 in a million sort of energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, this was like I remember like being so appalled when this happened because I was like, the whole drums are fucking hot. Like so much of this book has been dedicated to like every time somebody walks through the drum being like, man, so many people here are really fucking injured.
Mhm.
And so just knowing that like Ashford fucking did it again, but this time it wasn't aliens. Like it was just a dipshit human who did it. Like
Yeah, but you're being a real Cortez right now, Elliot. The plan is to have them all die. The plan isn't to save everyone.
yes, I know you're right. Like and arguably dying through what would Georgia cause it? High kinetic
Yeah,
trauma or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. That's probably
like
better than starvation, which is presumably the other method.
yeah, like so. Look, you could argue it's a mercy move, I suppose, but
Yeah.
like,
Of all the things Ashford has done wrong, this isn't one of them in my mind.
no, it's one of those like if this is the mercy move, like reevaluate your plan.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
but yeah, I don't know. I just remember like being so angry because I was like, they're all injured. It's like bombing a hospital. Like it's just like you can't do that.
Well, and the thing that sticks out to me about it is that it is effectively what the slow zone has done to them twice over now, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's just the same thing, but this time, yeah, as you said, not being done by aliens, just being done by Ashford. So it's funny that like Ashford and Cortez were kind of like freaking out about, oh, we've touched the face of God and we shouldn't have done it, and then they're kind of just doing the same thing to
yeah,
people
yeah.
as well. Like it's
That's a really good point.
they're not. Who would have thought this about Ashford? He's not self aware.
Yeah, that's like, this creature is evil because it decelerates a bunch of people,
Yeah,
and we're gonna do that
and
too.
we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Mm.
I guess yeah, they're gonna get their comeuppance mostly. Actually, not real. Anyway,
Well, some
um,
kind of. I don't know.
let's jump into chapter 48. It's bull time, and basically we skip right to the moment when the four belters in power armor storm into engineering,
Hmm.
and yeah. We already sort of touched on this. The belters can't drive them for shit, but it doesn't matter because these suits are ridiculously overpowered, so they still win quickly and handily.
Yeah, even without their weapons, they are just like impervious to anything.
Yes, that's a good point. It's worth saying they don't have guns, so like they're just kind of going around doing melee
Throwing
stuff.
couches at people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and so as I was reading this, I'm like, oh my god, they're setting up a mech fight. Bull in his mech versus them in their mechs. And then I was like, wait, Bull's mech is like shit. And he abandons it pretty quickly. But I would have loved to see a little bit of a mech fight. I think it would have been fun. I mean, I guess we did get the mech fight when it was Clarissa chasing Naomi through the Rosie. But anyway, more mech
yeah.
fights, please.
We had like Bobby in the mech suit versus the hybrid alien soldier last book. That's
True.
gotta count.
No, you're right. That counts. But any time that a mech fight is kind of being set up, like one
I
character in a
want
mech, four other characters in a mech, and then we bail out of it, I'm like, come on, guys. Could have had a mech
it.
fight here. Come on.
Yeah, but again, like, maybe mech is just a bad word for what Bull's situation is because
Yeah,
that's
no,
not.
totally.
um,
Um,
Yeah, I really like the way Bull describes like the movement of the belters driving these things as they move like grasshoppers, and it's basically because they're not used to the I guess like power or like force enhancement. They're just constantly jumping really high, really fast, and like crashing into the roof, and then like jumping back down onto the ground.
mm,
Um, and I think that's like a great way of selling how these things are like so powerful, but also like these belters driving them are a little bit powerless because they can't
mm.
control it.
Yeah, they're not trained in how to make these things the real killing machines that we know they can be.
Yeah,
But even so, they are horrifying. They're basically just like slightly controllable wrecking balls, right?
yeah,
It's
exactly. Like
no
these guys
good.
can't drive them for shit. I love the grasshopper analogy for that because
Yeah.
grasshoppers move so big and fast, but don't really do anything. The so obviously that's where the metaphor dies, but Anyway, yeah, basically engineering is very, very quickly overrun. I think only Naomi, Bull, and three of the Martian Marines and one random like OPA security guy make it out.
Yep.
Um, and they make it into the elevator shaft, so they basically just start booking it towards Holden and Corin because they've got nowhere else to go.
Yep.
And I think at this point, like one of the Martian Marines and the OPA security guy die, so it's now down to Naomi, Bull, and two Martians.
Yeah, they're dropping like flies as they're running
Yeah.
up the elevator shaft for sure.
Um, and I want to call it this moment where so they reach the elevator in the middle, and basically Bull's like, Naomi, go see if you can help Holden. Uh, and she's like, no, I won't go. And he's like, just like, you know, you're gonna die either place. May as well like die with him.
Mm.
Um, and he thinks like he watched her face as she decided fear, despair, regret, calm, in that order. An impressive woman. He wished he'd had the chance to know her better. And if she was able to ship with Jim Holden and love him, maybe he wasn't all as bad as Bullard thought either. Um, and I really love this quote because I think this is the second time. I think the same thing happened in Caliban's War, maybe with like Avasarala, or it was Bobby, maybe. But
Mm.
like we definitely had a character in the last book also be like, man, Naomi's really cool. If she likes Holden, he can't be that bad.
Yeah. Naomi's so cool that yeah, she makes Holden better just by association.
Yeah, but it's just like because like all of them are just like, oh, she's really switched on. Like I don't know. I'm like my fault is maybe she just has shit taste in men. Like if we
Yeah, but she's too competent for them to believe that about her.
Well, yeah, but like if you
But she can't be perfect in all facets, I guess. Yeah.
just, I'm just saying, I know a number of very smart, capable people who have absolutely dog shit taste in partners.
Mm. Yeah.
And like I don't feel like we're giving enough credence to the possibility that that's Naomi.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
Um, but yeah. Anyway, so Bull sends Naomi and the two other Martian Marines down the rest of the elevator shaft and waits alone in the elevator with all the grenades that he confiscated from the Martian Marines. And much like Holden was doing in this exact same elevator about an hour ago, he readies himself to die.
Yep.
Um,
Oh,
but
Bull.
before he can, but before he actually gets
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
Monica calls to get an update on how things are going.
Yeah. Hi, Monica.
Yeah, getting ready to kill himself. Monica's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah.
But he does. I mean, eventually, yeah, he has the chat with Monica, and we can talk about that. But eventually, yes, he blows himself up and takes at least I think takes one uh Martian suit out with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is pretty good. Considering
Yeah.
how tough they seem, takes another one out. So we're down to two Martian Marine suits, right? Because one of them got taken
Yes.
out by a sniper man, by Coil
Yeah.
Sniper, I guess we'll call him.
I want to say Juarez.
Yeah, I can't
Uh,
remember his name.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love this. This I guess Bull's final thoughts in the elevator of death flags. Like because like the whole second half of this book is basically every Bull chapter has been like, and he coughed up half his lung, and
Mm.
like he's so tired because he hasn't slept for 3 weeks, and like he's been on the brink for so long, and he's kind of lying in this elevator, and he thinks to himself he tried to decide whether he regretted dying, but the truth was he was just too fucking tired to care. And he couldn't breathe for crap. He was sorry he hadn't killed Ashford, but that wasn't new.
Yeah, it's a good line. It's a good line to go out on, Bull. Poor Bull. His story, this book, has been him just getting more and more beaten and broken until he died, and trying to
Yes.
desperately keep everything together, but then not even getting to see the culmination of it. Oh, he's a poor bastard.
Yeah, he's like a walking kind of soldier trope, right? Like
Yeah,
he just suffered so that other people could have it better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good on you, Bull. The other thing we learned from this conversation with Monica is that Anna's dead. Um, as soon as I read that, I couldn't help myself. I had to look ahead to see if there was another Anna chapter coming up, and I saw the next one was an Anna chapter. I'm like, phew, thank God.
Yeah, I remember the first time I read this, like, I've just been so obsessed with Anna from the start. I was just like, "No, she's not, no." Like, I just sort of rejected it. I was like,
Yeah.
no, she's not dead."
And you were right.
Um, yeah, because the very next one is an Anna chapter. So yeah, we open chapter 49 with Anna waking up. She got slammed unconscious in the Slowening 2.0. The one where it was just humans being cunts. The aliens weren't needed. Um,
Mm.
and basically, after seeing how bad things are and learning that Ashford did this on purpose, she kind of enters Terminana mode, um, and like basically beats Monica up until Monica puts her on back on the air.
Mm. Yeah. And it works. So well done, Anna.
Yeah, it does. But I do like this is the second time because obviously we saw and Anna blamed it a lot on the fact she was hopped up on drugs when she chased down and tasered Clarissa.
Mm.
Um, but I don't think this was obviously extreme circumstances, but there weren't drugs in her system. I think she's just going to have to start to admit to herself that she's a bit of an action hero.
Yeah, she's is she ever going to be able to go back to a kind of relaxed pastoral life now that she's had a taste of the action?
I mean, yeah, because I keep saying she's like Holden but better. So that's the
Mm.
next part of her arc is like her becoming Miller phase.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Um we'll see, I guess. It does
yeah,
kind of end with her being like, "Oh, I'm coming back home to my wife and child."
yeah.
Um we'll see. We'll see. I think she'll get the bug. No way she doesn't want to go through more of those rings.
um, yeah, she's had such a good time. Um, I also really like she sort of realizes that Ashford has done this on purpose, and she's like, Anna felt like a growing rage and was glad that nobody had thought to give her a gun. And it's
Mm.
like holy shit, Anna. Especially because like we're recording this only like what 3 days since we recorded our last episode because of scheduling kerfuffles. But
Mm.
so I remember from that last episode, her and Tilly had a huge fight about like being nice and forgiving Ashford, and now
Mm.
Anna's here like, thank God I don't have a gun.
Yeah, she's starting to turn, isn't she? She's starting to
Yeah.
turn more violent. Classic, but she pulls it back. She goes for the trying to still desperately unify people angle.
Mm. Yeah. And I I have to call out this little moment just because it makes me laugh and in amongst all of this, where before she can get back on the air, she gets given like a radio and she's like, "Hello, this is Anna Lovodov." That's not how you'd say that. At Radio Free Slow Zone. Is anyone left on this channel? And then
Mm.
the text says, "Someone replied, but they were impossible to hear over the nearby gunfire." Anna turned the volume up to the maximum and said, "Repeat that, please." "We're here," James Holden said, at deafening levels. And it's just comedy gold to have a character deal with like what's a fucking like Monday morning Zoom problem in the middle of a gunfight?
Yeah, yeah, but it's very real, which I think is
It is,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a great little detail. Like I just love moments like this because it's like, yeah, like that's just you're like, yeah, that makes sense. It really doesn't feel like a problem you should be having in your current circumstances, but it's gonna happen.
yeah, yeah. You got to still deal with the practicalities of communication. Um, I do get the sense that Anna is a bit of a technophobe as well, though. She just seems like the type to be a bit of a technophobe.
Yeah, or like not technophobe as much as techno incompetent.
Mm.
Like I'm just thinking, like most of my family, Georgia included, to be honest, are just like they're just not on the same wavelength as tech, so they intentionally like avoid engaging with it when they can, and that's the vibe I get from Anna. Like she just hasn't put the effort in.
Yeah, yeah, true, true.
Um, but anyway, she bullies Monica into getting her back on air, and she gets on and she makes one final plea. She's like, "If there's anybody listening, we need help. Like, please, if the laser goes off, it's going to destroy the whole solar system. Save us. You're our only hope." Um,
Mm.
and she gets one response, and it's Clarissa.
Yeah.
And so this quickly evolves into Anna and Cortez, basically the angel and devil on
Yeah.
Clarissa's shoulders, arguing about whether or not she should open the door to let Holden into the bridge.
Yeah, I loved this. I loved this as the culmination of this chapter. It's really everything that I wanted. Like, as you're saying, the angel and devil on Clarissa's shoulder. So Anna and Cortez being able to have this, you know, I guess debate about the
Yes.
actions that they're taking, and Clarissa getting to finally make an active choice towards redemption. It's so perfect.
Yeah, it's great, and like, I mean, it opens with Clarissa like very reasonably being like, "So how do you know that if we laser the ring, it's going to destroy the solar system?"
Hmm.
And because Anna refuses to lie, fucking like ever, she's like, "Well, we got the intel from James Holden." And you can just like, it's just fucking funny that Anna has to open her argument with like, "Now, I want you to believe what James Holden says."
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Uh, Clarissa being forced to confront whether she's going to help Holden, and of course she'll get more chances to confront this later on when Holden's
Mm.
actually there as well. But it's so delightful. Um, yeah, yeah. And as I kind of hoped would happen, Cortez is actually confronted with the reality of what's going to happen when they do their plan, and as I predicted, does not believe it.
Yeah, yeah. I would say honestly an understandable like just
Mm.
denial of the facts. Like, yeah,
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 we'll discuss where we think Cortez should end up by the end of these chapters, I guess.
yeah, fair, fair. Um, but yeah, so yeah, we get this great like you said, it's a debate of the whole Anna Cortez worldview through the lens of Clarissa being the one who has to keep like get them. I also think it's worth. I think like a really fun little detail in this is Anna. It's audio only for Anna, so she has a
Mm,
number of moments where she's like doubting herself or like talking more because she can't see how Clarissa's interacting, and she's such like a person. Like she gauges so much based on like the reactions of the people to her words, and she's really
mm.
struggling with not having that. So like it's this funny like it's in hard mode for Anna, and she still wins, and that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. It is nice. It's good. She's yeah, you're right. The chips are stacked against her, but she's clearly just wormed her way into Clarissa's mind.
Yeah, yeah. We saw a lot of that the last set of chapters, and it finally bears fruit. Yeah. Um, but yeah. So anyway, the chapter ends with what might be one of my favorite lines in the series. I think I've called out a few others as potentials for this, so
Mm,
I almost want to start making a list. But like Anna's talking, and then sort of realizes Clarissa like isn't responding anymore, and then Cortez is just like, "Clarissa, what are you doing?" And says, "Clarissa sounded calm, almost half asleep. I opened the doors." It's just it's such a like I don't know what's gonna happen next, but that's fucking like wild
mm.
because you
Yeah,
know Ashford's not gonna be happy.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I was looking forward to seeing what would happen here. Clarissa is, yeah, really redeeming herself in my mind, and I'm the
Mm.
arbiter of morality. Uh, yeah, it's fun. It's very fun.
Yeah. Um, but next up, we actually jump back in time a little bit. So, chapter 50 is from Holden's perspective, but we're back to while him and his sort of motley crew of survivors are in the elevator shaft trying to figure out if they can break into command. Um,
Mm,
so, there's a very funny angle to this where the whole time this is happening, like we've got the dramatic irony of knowing that Clarissa's just going to open it for them eventually.
mm.
Um, but anyway, the Martian power suits, the two remaining ones, come within range, and so basically everyone readies themselves for another pointless final stand and prepares to die.
That's what a lot of these chapters are about.
It is. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, once again, Holden's preparedness to die is a waste of time because Naomi saves the day. She sort of pivots from trying to open command to like she turns the elevator into a ballistic. weapon, and I think kills both of the remaining like power suits. Or I think the direct quote is that the power suits are probably fine, but whatever's inside them has turned to liquid.
Yeah, well done, Naomi. Another save.
I like how she like comes out from the like the sort of elevator, I don't know, behind the scenes bit where she was like fiddling with the cables to make this happen. And she like comes out and she's like, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm not good with guns." And and like Juarez, the master sniper, is like, "No, no, no, no. You just keep doing your thing. Warn me if I'm in the way. Like you're good." It's just
Yeah,
great banter.
yeah, it's good.
Um, but yeah, anyway, this is the point where the door just magically opens, and um, Holden and his crew don't really have the option of not trusting this, so they go inside. Um,
Mm.
they come up with a shitty plan to try and take engineering, and it goes horribly wrong in less than a second. Juarez immediately takes, I think, 3 bullets.
Yeah, he is immediately blasted, isn't he?
Like he up until this point has far and away been the MVP, except for arguably Verbinski, who died on the way up the elevator shaft. So like he was far and away the MVP of people left. Um,
Mm.
and it takes less than a second for him to cop 3 bullets.
Yeah. Yeah. Corin and Holden would never have had a chance. I mean, like,
No.
they were sent to die against the Martian Marines, and then I was like, oh, maybe they'd have a chance to break in here. Nope, zero chance.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty clear that they are fucked. And so I'm like, all right, well, time for the Clarissa to save the day again.
Well, chapter 51, Clarissa. Uh, so yeah, we basically we jump into Clarissa's head, and she's getting yelled at by Ashford for letting Holden in. And then she retreats from that and gets talked down to by Cortez, which actually angers her even more.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And she's having a few moments of like comparing Cortez to her dad throughout this stuff,
Yes.
which I think is very fun. And it, yeah, and it kind of culminates in her final, I guess, rejection of her dad a bit later. But
Yeah.
yeah, just it's good stuff.
I I just want to like read out this quote where basically, you know, Clarice is trying to justify herself um, to Cortez, I think it is, and he's like, "So you're going to listen to the same James Holden who started a war by telling people things?" Clarissa nodded. He'd started at least one war. He'd destroyed Protogen, and by doing so, set up the dominoes that would eventually topple Mao Quick and her father. He had done all of that. But he didn't lie. All those other things he did, he never lied once.
Mm,
And I fucking love this moment just because it's like, even like, Clarissa doesn't need to convince herself here Holden's a good guy. Like, she doesn't have to deal with the cognitive overload of accepting that he's the hero yet, but
mm.
she can at least admit to herself he was telling the truth the whole time. So, like, even if he used the truth to do bad things, I have no reason to suspect he's not telling the truth about this thing too.
Yeah, and that is the closest she's come to. Again, not quite saying it because you still feel like the oven's a bit too hot for her to touch it, but
Yes.
that is again her admitting to herself that her father what should have gone down, like it was the right thing for her father to go down, right?
Yeah, but it's a great like middle step where it's like she can get to being on Holden's side without having to mentally reconcile that like her dad was the problem.
Mm,
Um, just by like all because Holden's reputation is so fucking like naively pure that it's like, okay, like yeah, sure.
yeah,
He tell like yeah, he might do bad things or whatever, but like he does them honestly.
yeah, yeah.
Um, anyway, this sort of keeps going on, and Cortez eventually explains to Clarissa that if she just keeps her head down, he can get Ashford to forgive her. Um, but unfortunately for him, the concept of forgiveness is like the sleeper idea that Anna implanted in Clarissa's head. Um, and it's the concept of Ashford forgiving her that causes Clarissa to finally kind of break and or no, actually no, did the opposite, kind of fix herself.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
she realizes she's on the wrong side, which is just very funny to me that the concept of Ashford forgiving her was enough for her to be like, "Oh my god, I've made a mistake." Um, but yeah, she basically activates her glands and gets to work disabling command for Holden and co.
Yay.
Um, and I really love when she activates her glands, she kind of enters like fucking bullet time. Or but not quite bullet time because she is admitting that she's like, I have to hope I don't get hit by a bullet because I can't
Yeah,
stop
true.
that. But
I do like that as this scene is happening, she's reminding us, the audience, I'm not fast enough to actually like dodge bullets or anything. I'll just have to
mm,
hope I don't get shot. That was very fun to me because obviously I think everyone's got that scene from The Matrix stuck in their head
yes,
permanently whenever there's slow mo stuff like this, right? So,
yeah, she sort of has to be like, yes, I'm in slow mo mode and like it's really cool and sci-fi, but also like this is just drugs, so it doesn't give me superpowers. It's just
yeah.
like I'm just jacked up.
Yeah, but I really obviously, like, in space, in zero gravity, there's this like vibe of kind of slowly bouncing through the air. And then because of her, drugs, it like dials that up to 1,000,000. It's like a really fun
Yeah,
way to do that kind of trope even more extremely. I just think it's really cool. It's really a cool way to have this stuff land.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like it is just a very visual scene. Like you're picturing her sort of leaping in slow mo, like across the thing, doing like some yeah, like you said, ballet style moves to flip herself over and then like
Like
kick people
bouncing
and
off
stuff.
of people and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like it visually in my head, it's not that dissimilar to like the fucking speeder scenes from the recent X-Men movies.
Mm. Yeah, totally.
Um,
Except more like jumping.
yes, yeah, yeah. Um, but anyway, Clarissa does actually like a fairly minimal amount of violence, all things said and done, and quickly goes for a control panel where she uses a bad design feature that she learnt from Ren in the brownout buffers, which tricks the whole ship into thinking there's an electrical problem and shutting down the entire electrical grid, which is the thing that Holden and his crew couldn't figure out how to do.
Mm.
Um, so she saves the day, the power goes out, and she's just about to pass out from her mods and the sense of relief. Um, and she thinks to it, like, she tells Ren in her head, it's like, we did it, we saved humanity. Um, it's quite a nice moment, even if I don't really think she deserves that quite yet. But anyway, it doesn't matter for long because Ashford is at point blank range and shoots her.
Mm. Yeah. Oops. Um, yeah, it's interesting. Following her plan, it really is just kind of shut down the power. And I'm like, okay, that's good for like the short term. But I was kind of confused at the end of this chapter how what she's doing is going to help them at all. And then obviously
Yeah.
we see how it is. She's like, kicking a few goons maybe, but like I was kind of expecting her to like break some necks, and she doesn't do that. She goes to do a bit of electrical engineering, which I love because it's again her using her kind of Clarissa skills to save the day and not her Melba violence. Even though she uses the implant, it's for engineering, not for violence, which I think is cool.
Yeah, well, the violence is just to get her access to the engineering.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is like a very fun. It's a very funny way to land the ship of her being Clarissa and not Melba. And another one on that is again, as she's doing this, she has a final thought about Cortez looking like her dad as she then like jumps away from him to save the day. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
nice metaphor, love it.
Um, also, I had to Google it this time because I'd never heard of a brownout buffer, and I was like basically playing the game with Google, like weird sci-fi made up technology or real thing, and the answer is real thing. They do exactly what Clarissa like uses them for. So this is great research by the authors, I guess, but
Hmm.
they're basically special circuits that like help like the other circuits deal with irregular power. So, like, if the power spikes or goes down for a bit, the brownout buffers act as a buffer to keep it steady on the other side of them. So
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, okay. Like, if you fuck with the brownout buffer, it's very easy to convince the rest of the ship that like something wild is happening like that. I was like, yeah, that's a like cool. Like the more I read about it, the more sense it makes. That's great.
Mm, yeah.
Like you could presumably do this on a boat today, so that's really fun.
Yeah. We could pull our own Clarissa moves.
But yeah, no, I mean, like shutting down the electricity to go back to something you said earlier is like that's what Anna asked her to do. I guess basically, they're like, we need to
Yeah,
shut down the
yeah,
power.
sure. But I'm just kind of in the headspace of like Holden is on the other side with the gun, kind of ready
Yeah, yeah,
to blast. I'm like, I guess it's a good distraction. But no, pretty clearly soon see what is this going to cause. I guess in my head when they're talking about like everyone shutting down the power, I'm like, okay, and then it'll take like a few hours for the space station to respond and stuff. But no, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
immediate.
yeah.
Immediate and instantaneous. So I guess I shouldn't have doubted the Protogen space station.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into that. So basically, we jump into Holden's head. There's still this massive gunfight going on. The lights turn off when Clarissa does her move. Holden gets a bit disoriented, but he sort of like finds himself again, and he's with Miller on a simulation of another planet. Um,
Mm,
Basically, his body is floating unconsciously in the middle of this gunfight. But they've succeeded in lifting the lockdown, and now Miller is super powered and has brought Holden in for a chat.
mm, yeah. Um, I love this kind of thing. I love the we're gonna in like in the nanoseconds between the moments, we're gonna take a breather to discuss some crazy concepts, and I can do that because I'm all powerful. It's like the exact kind of thing I love in stories like this.
Yeah, it's a great trope, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, I also like really like just as this is starting, there's this great thing where like before Holden kind of realizes what's happening, he's like, so many things about his physical situation changed all at once that his hindbrain couldn't keep up. It told him to be nauseated just in case he'd been poisoned. It was working
Mm,
with 50 million-year-old response algorithms. Um, and like this is just an example of like a really fun little thing that books like this get to do. I think, which is like when you do that thing where you explain things in a way that makes them sound ridiculous and alien, like yeah, okay, like it's true. We have a bunch of like brain algorithms that are operating on like hundreds of years of evolution backlog. Um, and it works particularly on something like sci-fi where it's like, oh yeah, like humans are weird little monkey people, I guess.
yeah, humans being in space-based books, humans just being reduced to like talking monkeys is very fun.
Yeah, well, I'm like, as Holden is about to chat with this alien thing we don't understand, like, really at all, I really like the little reminder that, like, also, like, we don't really understand a lot of ourselves and or what we do. It's like, yeah, that shit's 50 million years old and I can't turn it off. Like, there's
Mm,
something fun about reminding us that, like, humans aren't that normal either.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what is normal, right? We've got our own
Yeah.
weirdnesses. We just
Yeah,
don't.
exactly.
In the same way, you don't think of your accent as being an accent. It's like,
Yes. But yeah, I think it's really valuable in a sci-fi story, especially as we're about to talk to an alien, to like just give us that reminder that's like, yeah, humans don't make sense.
yeah, 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 true. But yeah, so the behemoth was the last little bit of power to be shut down before Miller can turn off the station defenses. And as he does that, he talks about to Holden about all the crazy shit that they're about to see.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and there's so many great bits here. Like I love when Miller's like, yeah, this is like a planet that seemed Earth-like, so I brought you here because I thought that would like keep you calm. Um, and Holden's like, so am I actually here?
Mm.
And like Miller just laughs and he's like, kid, I'm not even here.
Yeah, come on, Miller. We already Holden. We already know that he's just manipulating your synapses. Like we know this is what's going on.
Oh, I just love that because like that's such a hilariously Miller like not answering the question. Like it was again one of those moments I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a good simulation of Miller because like that's exactly the kind of way he unhelpfully didn't answer questions.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, anyway, Holden's sort of like, "Cool, thanks. You saved humanity. We did it." And Simulation Miller is like, "I didn't care about that, to be honest. Like, I remember the concept of caring about humanity." Which is just a hilarious thing for Miller. That actually makes me question whether the simulation is that good because we saw in Miller's head he did not. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, like he remembers the concept of caring, but he no longer has the emotional attachment to it. Basically, it's like if Miller got the protogen scientist surgery to become a sociopath.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good it's a good comparison. It's Predagen scientist sociopath Miller version. You're right, yeah.
Which is great because, like, you know, when he met one of those, he got in a whole lot of shit for just immediately shooting them in the head.
Just wanting to blast him, yeah. Miller would have blasted himself, I think, yeah, for sure.
um, but yeah. So now that the lockdown is ended, Miller has extra processing power and is able to open all of the gates.
Mm.
So far, so good. There's no immediate invasion force that comes through. Um,
Mm.
It seems like there's just 1,000 new planets for humanity to go check out.
Yeah. Hopefully nothing comes through. Nothing comes through immediately, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, the stargates are open. I
Yep.
the thing I'm most excited for when I read the next book, Elliot, is figuring out what the administrative organization that is now responsible for like tracking, tagging, and like managing the information about what's on the other side of each gate. That's the kind of character I want. Is I guess whoever Avasarala decides should be put in charge of that type of thing. At least that's from the Earth side.
I mean, Brax.
Yeah, you
It
know
should.
what? Well, he's not logistical. I want a logistics focused character
Oh,
whose
I see.
responsibility is okay. Holden, we're sending you into gate Theta B9, and Bobby's squad, you're going into gate Alpha 2 or whatever. Report back, or
Yeah.
they come back in. I guess I just want more SCP stories. Really, is what I'm asking for.
See, I was just thinking you stopped reading the Bobaverse books, right? But that's like,
I read
uh,
like 3 of them or 4.
yeah,
I think I read a lot.
yeah, okay, because that's like, I mean, the basic premise of that entire series is what if everyone was a nerd like that?
Yeah,
Um,
true, true. I did enjoy those books.
yeah, the latest few are actually really good. I really like.
I'll have to catch up.
Um, but yes, coming back to this book, again, we get some great like Miller Holden interactions that are just very funny. Like Holden's like, "Oh, so you've opened the gates in this simulation, but did you open them in reality too?"
Holden, you're a fucking idiot. Oh, Holden. That's such a dumb question.
I just love that Miller's like, "Yeah, but what is reality?" Like, but and Holden's like, "The place where I live," and Miller's like, "Yeah, fine, okay, yes, the gates are open." Like, I just love the idea that Miller tried to be all Miller, and he's like, but what is reality? And Holden's like, like where I'm from. It's like, okay, yes, fine. Like, I don't know. It's just so funny to watch him get beaten at his own game.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
and yeah, we do
Yeah.
get the other warning from Miller. Like, Miller's like, I know enough about humanity to know I can't stop you from going out there. So I guess good luck. Remember what I said about doors and corners.
Yeah, doors and corners. And now that Miller is finally lucid, can't you just tell us what you're talking about, buddy? I mean, I guess here he is saying, watch out for humans are gonna things are gonna come at you around doors and corners. It's very general advice that's not really applicable or helpful. But I want to know
No.
what Miller was talking about earlier in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe we'll find out. But
Next time, yeah.
I do like that part of what Miller says here as well is he's like, look, I can't stop you guys. It's not my job to like nursemaid this species through the next steps. So good luck.
Mm, yeah. Um, but he says he needs a ride, so uh, that to me indicates that Miller's ghost is a permanent feature in Holden's mind now. So that'll be fun. Miller's
Yeah,
sticking around.
yeah. I mean, I guess we saw like earlier in this book, like he was saying like Holden having physical access was important, um, and yeah, apparently that still applies even post lockdown.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, look, eventually Holden is like, "This has been great. Love chatting with you. I would like to go back to the gunfight that I was in the middle of and check that I'm not about to die."
mm,
Um, but yeah, this is where Miller's like, "Oh, I would, but I'm not done with you yet." And finally, actually explains a little bit. Basically, the protomolecule's job now that it has built the ring is to report back to the rest of the network that it has built the ring. Uh, but nobody is acknowledging. It's basically sending out a like "I did it" request, and nobody is acknowledging. So now it's going to keep searching to find, uh, somebody who can acknowledge that it did its job.
mm. Yeah. Um, yeah. it's it's fun. It's fun. It's fun that Miller is this like algorithmically driven character now, and we don't really understand the algorithm beyond. He wants to find, yeah, I guess, yeah, their maker. He wants to meet his maker. I do think that's very fun, especially because
Yeah.
it is just another, you know, what did Miller call it in the first book? Like find and kidnap job, right?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
it's effectively him being tasked with the exact same thing again. I mean, I don't think he's going to kidnap God, but yeah,
Yeah.
track him down at least.
No, and I mean, I think that's the thing. Like this makes a bit more sense because Miller started showing up as soon as the ring was constructed, and so
Mm,
like you could sort of see from the proto molecule's perspective, it like constructed the ring, presumably sent whatever network signal it sends out, and didn't get a response, and is like, oh, like okay, well, so now I guess my job is to find out how to access the network, and so it was like, okay, well, who's somebody who goes and finds people? Oh,
mm,
like this dipshit. Um, and like that's how we kind of spiraled into Miller appearing to Holden. Um,
mm,
I really like the comparison. I think Miller makes it about like kind of himself, where he's like the protomolecule is essentially like a nav computer. Like the nav computer's been told to go to X, and it doesn't really matter if everybody inside the ship or anyone who wants that request is dead. Like like the nav computer is still going to do what it can to drive there. It's just the protomolecule has enough intelligence to like adapt its strategy and create like Miller simulations and stuff.
mm. Yeah, yeah. It's got it can tap the creativity of its molecules, I guess, if that's what the Eros people are.
Yeah.
Yeah, very fun. Um, hey, so when they come back and Clarissa has saved the day, Holden's response is, "I'm glad we didn't space her," which I think is a funny line, but also is like tying very thoroughly into this moral thread of whether it's acceptable to space people or not. And it made me think like, Bull wishes he killed Ashford earlier. And then
Yeah.
Holden here decides, I'm glad, or jokes, I'm glad we didn't space Clarissa. And then I'm like, well, what are they going to do with Ashford? Are they going to kill him now that he's defenseless in front of them? And I was like, I kind of hope they do. But I suspect this is telling me they're not going to. And then later on we find out that they didn't. I'm like, all right, book, fine. I'll play into your morality if that's what you want.
Yeah, like I get it, but like also, I I think if I'd like read the report of these events and they got back and they're like, "Oh man, we lost Ashford." Oh,
Yeah,
like
he just
w-
he something happened and he ended up outside of the ship somehow.
yeah. Yeah, no, he's suitless on the ring station. It's very confusing. Like I wouldn't have been upset. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
Um, but anyway, we should get into talk about the end of the book. So we jump to our last regular chapter in Abaddon's Gate. It's 53. We're in Clarissa's head again, for one final time. She sort of re-enters the land of the living, and awakens to Anna, just asking one small favor of Holden. Like she wants to make sure Clarissa can make it back to Luna, and nobody tries to kill her. So the best ship for that is the Rocinante. So like Holden, could you just take Clarissa on your ship for like a 2-month trip back home?
It's a
Um,
very funny idea.
yeah. And Holden, I think, very understandably tells her there's no way in hell that he will do this. Um, but he forgets that Anna has a superpower now, and it's not like tasering people. It's not preaching. It's having a friend who's very rich. And so she calls in the favor Tilly owes her. Tilly basically promises to buy the Rocinante from Mars and gift it to Holden if they take Clarissa home.
Mm.
It's so fucking. It's such a fucking wild. Like I love how shook the entire roster not because they like joke. They're like, "Yeah, if you can buy the Rosie from Mars, then
Yeah.
sure." And then Anna fucking does it.
What a funny way to resolve that little plot point that we've all long since forgotten about, right?
Yeah.
That Mars is going to try and reclaim the Rosie, and it's like, no, instead, I will use it for my own purposes. It's very funny work by Anna, but also very funny concept of Clarissa. Like this chapter is so crazy. Clarissa just being the like ghost at the feast aboard the Rosie, just like having these little moments with every single crew member, where
Yeah.
she's just kind of observing from the sidelines. It's effectively an epilogue before the
Yes.
what they call the epilogue, which I think is fantastic. It's a lovely chapter.
I view it as like this is the character epilogue, and then the
Mm.
epilogue is the like thematic
Thematic
epilogue.
epilogue, yeah, sure.
Um, but yeah. This this sort of segment of the chapter ends with like Holden begrudgingly being like, okay, well, if you're going to buy the Rosie, we will take this crazy nightmare woman back home.
Yeah,
um and so like he kind of comes up and like like takes her hand while she's still in the hospital bed, and basically before she passes back out, Clarissa manages to say, "Pleased to meet you," to Holden, the man she'd moved heaven and earth to humiliate and murder.
yay,
Um, and I feel like this is a great tone setter for the rest of this chapter, which is like this is going to be fucking weird.
yeah, and it is.
Yeah.
No, it's lovely. It's so nice.
It's so good. So yeah, basically the rest of this chapter is the Rosie is heading back towards human civilization. Um, and so we get to see like all of our Rosie crew that we know and love kind of settle back into peacetime and have the good part of their lives. But like we get to see it from Clarissa's point of view, which you'd never
Mm,
fucking guess. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, we kind of see how Clarissa at some points feels like a member of the crew, but also obviously is not. Um, and yeah, we just have this like series of vignettes of nice epilogue moments between our Rosie crew.
mm, yeah, yeah, and they're all very nice. These moments, aren't they? Um,
Yeah. Like the first one is we see basically the memorial service for people who died, like Bull and
mhm.
Sam. Michio Parr is delivering like the eulogy for Bull, which is
She
also another
lived.
like yeah, but also like you wouldn't have thought she'd be the one doing that half a book ago.
I think she respects Bull after everything. You'd think.
Yeah, true. Um, what else? We have this other little one where the crew basically all gets together and has dinner, and then all the guys start making fart jokes. So Naomi's like, "Thank God, there's another woman on board," and actually kind of includes Clarissa, which is touchy.
Mm, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's interesting because they're all still obviously pretty wary of Clarissa, but Naomi kind of takes the lead with cutting her a little bit of slack, and then everyone
Yeah,
else starts to do it too.
yeah. And yeah, like the next one is with Holden, and I wouldn't say Holden and Clarissa, and they're not going to be friends. I think that's what it ends with. Like they're never
Mm,
going to be friends because of the whole novel. But
mm,
it's nice, and honestly, though, I think the real one of this for me is we get to see Fred for a little bit. So we see Fred's acknowledgement of Bull, um, and we also get a little insight that they're leaving the behemoth in the ring space.
mm, yeah. Which, yeah, I guess the behemoth is where this logistical outpost is going to be. I suppose that I'm imagining. Um,
Yeah, yeah, true.
so that's fun. I look forward to, I guess, Fred Johnson sending out some. Oh, maybe he won't still be on the Behemoth, but whoever it is, sending out some, whatever little bits and pieces of exploratory ships through the rings.
Yeah.
The problem is, surely, I can't remember the belter who died in the prologue. What was his name again?
Mineo.
Yeah, but surely now that there's like whatever dozens, hundreds of rings, this kind of crazy belters launching themselves through rings is only going to increase, right? That's what I would, if I was a crazy belter and Mineo became, remembered for all time as like king of the crazy, reckless belters. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to one up him. I'm going to fly through a different ring.
Well, you got to be the first person to slingshot through too.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess we'll see. Um, but yeah, I mean that's some fun, I guess, setup for the next novel, really.
Mm,
In between this moment of Clarissa and Holden, not feeling like they're connected, but also not being actively hostile, which is pretty good considering.
mm.
But the real winner of all these moments and the one that gets saved for last is basically just as Clarissa's starting to go stir crazy, not having anything to do, uh, she helps Amos fix the door that she broke. Because she, knows more about these systems than he does and is able to help him, put it together.
Yeah, and this is obviously just dripping with metaphor again. Just her
Yeah.
like doing a small repair on something that she broke, and it maybe isn't going to make all the difference in the world, but at least it's a step in the right direction. I'm like, yeah, all right, we get it, we get it.
Yeah.
You're the door, Clarissa. You're the door. But I know I loved it. It was beautiful.
It's great.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm sad because like I don't see a world where Clarissa isn't just kind of locked up forever when they get to Earth, and it seems like that's what's going to happen based on the discussion that they had in this chapter. But
Yeah.
Amos gives her a cool nickname, Peaches, and it's just like, all right, Clarissa, are you going to get a chance to like be a human and not just live in a cell forever? I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, what? I yeah.
You want me to make a prediction? I'll make a prediction.
Well, no, I'm just like, how the hell does she get out of prison?
I'm picturing a specific thing where it's like, she spends the next book or maybe two books in prison, right? And then
Hmm.
something crazy happens with the ring, and it's like, oh, Julie's ghost. I guess this is me recycling an idea I had earlier, but Julie's ghost comes back and is controlling whatever, some form of the proto molecule or something, and they're just like, God, we need someone who can connect to Julie. Who are we going to get? Oh, I know just who we need, and they have to like bail her out of prison to help save the day in like maybe book 5, end of book 5, book 6. That's what I'm kind of picturing. So I can't wait until we get there.
So wait, so this isn't like Avasarala and the UN letting her go.
I
This
think
is
it's
like a prison
Holden
break.
and more Naomi convincing Avasarala to let her go
Okay.
because they have to get her to convince Julie to like, only take Mars and leave the rest of the planets alone or whatever the fuck it ends up being, right?
Yeah, no, she's not going to fall for the Venus thing twice.
Yeah, no, they already did that once.
um, but yeah, I don't know. That's just that's the end of the novel proper. I guess I just this is such a good ending. Like this final Clarissa chapter is so fucking good. I love it.
Mm, yeah, no, it's really nice.
Um, but yeah, I guess we'll get into the epilogue, which for the first time is just from one of our regular POV characters.
Mm.
Um, it is just Anna, and she is starting the journey home aboard the Thomas Prince. Um, it opens as many of her original chapters did, with her sending an apology video to her wife.
Yep.
But she does have to admit in the end, like, she's not that sorry because it seems like it was probably a good thing she was here. And I think fair call.
Yeah, and she's the
Um,
type to beg for forgiveness, not
yes.
ask for permission. That's fine.
um, but yeah, basically, as she's sitting in this observation room watching the Thomas Prince get started, heading back to humanity, she's joined by Cortez, who is I don't know if he's in prison
Well, it doesn't
on the ship
seem
or not.
like he's suffering really any consequences to me.
Yeah, not yet, but like we saw. right when Holden was imprisoned on the Behemoth, he had free run of the ship. It was just sort of like, when we get out of here, like, is Cortez sort of fine to roam the ship for now, but is
Hmm.
next in line to Clarissa for getting forever
I
imprisoned
don't
when he gets
know.
home.
It seems he seems pretty chill for somebody who's about to be arrested forever, which is what I think should
Yeah,
happen to him. But
yeah. Um, but yeah, he gives us a little more insight into the politicking on Earth as well. So, because obviously the whole reason Cortez was here is he's like the personal priest of the Secretary General, the bobblehead. I forget his actual name.
yeah, I guess he might have enough connections to avoid prison just based off of that, huh?
Yeah, true. Well, but also he comes and gives Anna the update that Esteban, that's his name.
Hmm.
Um, Esteban is no longer the Secretary General. It's some new person called Nancy Gao,
Hmm.
and he tells Anna, you can see Christian Avasarala's fingerprints all over. Nancy Gao
Yeah,
replacing him as the Secretary General. And
nice bit of fan service for us.
yeah, I love this bit where Anna's like, "Sorry, who is that?"
Mm.
And Cortez is like, "Oh man, she'd fucking love that you said that."
um, yeah. So I guess I want to use this to just like give some props to the authors for like not giving in to the fan service that I know I want of maintaining more of the POV characters throughout the books. Like we have not had any of Asarala, any Bobby. Miller's ghost has stuck around, but that's, barely it.
Mm.
Like Prax, I'm pretty sure Prax died at the start of this book. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him. He has like fully been forgotten by the
Yeah.
characters.
Well, I guess he's doing doing stuff on Ganymede, I
Yeah, I
guess,
guess.
which
I
is
don't
like
know.
important but not
Bobby got a
relevant.
mention because of the Martian Marines kind of flagging
Yeah.
in Holden's mind. Prax gone from the mind. But anyway, no, I think it's like it's nice that that they've done that. I think it's good. Although if I and actually I should say Clarissa has I think dethroned Bobby as the POV character that I want more time with, which I'm so sorry, Bobby. I still love you, but Clarissa is fantastic. That final Clarissa chapter really just like fully made me be like, I want more Clarissa.
Yeah, I know it's a bit like picking your favorite child, but I have to agree. Like
Yeah,
Bobby and Avasarala and Prax are great, and I want more of them.
yeah.
But Clarissa and like yeah, again, no, Bull's not coming back, and
Well, Bull's
Anna,
dead. Bull's dead.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Anna's great. I really love Anna, but like Clarissa is absolutely the one where it's like, no, I need more of this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I want more Clarissa in my story, so that's why I'm hoping. Yeah, maybe book 5, book 6 will get the Clarissa POV when she gets busted out to negotiate with her sister's ghost or whatever.
Yeah, well, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's also, I guess, yeah, this sort of all ends with Anna looking out and thinking about the consequences of what's happened now that the rings are opened.
Mm,
Basically, one thing she thinks here is like her baby had been born into a world where her parents couldn't afford to have a sibling.
mm,
Where she'd have to work for 2 years just to prove to the government that she was worth receiving an education, where resources were rapidly diminishing and the battle to keep the waste from piling up used more and more of what was left.
mm.
And this is obviously like a huge thought and like really leading into where things are going, like blah blah blah. But also, it just makes me like, fuck. I want to see more of Earth. Like,
Yeah, yeah. When are we going to get more Earth focused stuff? We've gotten so little.
yeah, yeah. Like, I'm like, okay, like that. This is great. Like, Anna's thinking about the future and all that, and like super relevant. Blah blah. I want this little paragraph we get about how shit Earth is. I'm like, I want more of it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, me too.
Um, but yeah, anyway, and then the novel ends with Cortez telling Anna, whatever your daughter finds out there, just remember that's the future you chose for her. And Anna thinks his words are a mixture of hope and threat, just like the stars.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cortez is unhinged. He's such a crazy character. He's such a loser as well. Like, what is this? Him throwing some random barb at them? Like, I don't know. I'm not a Cortez fan. He had a chance for a little bit in the middle. I was like, Cortez, you could almost make me like you, and then he fucking squandered it pretty quick.
Yeah. No, he didn't. He didn't do great. But anyway, yeah, no, that's the end of the first trilogy. The rings are open, and I'm sure that's going to go great.
Yeah, and the end of the first season of our show, Elliot.
Yes, and like again, this was like it's baffling to me that I think by the time the show reached this point, like the seventh book was about to come out or so, um,
Mm.
and it was just so aggravating to me that you'd end it here. Um, like again, if you're gonna have to end it, it was one of the best three. Like with the ending of each trilogy is one of the best spots to end it.
Mm.
Um, but like, God, knowing what we're about to have happen, I was just like, you can't end it there, guys. Like that's so rude.
Yeah. I imagine the special effects budget is only going to need to get higher and higher, though.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's what I would be thinking if I was the exec. I'd be like, all
yeah, I
right,
do.
I'm sure there's going to be more special effects. I don't know.
I do remember like because it's yeah. I no, I do remember having that thought as well. It was like, man, the budget is gonna have to go up from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of our first season. Before we move on and start talking about what's happening for us next. I don't remember if we did it for the second one. But we did it for the first, like doing a little bonus bit on the name of the book.
Yeah,
Um,
we did it for Caliban's War.
Oh yeah, we did. We talked about who Caliban was. And I
Yeah.
mean, like this one's not going to be quite as deep because this one's a little bit more straightforward. Like
Mm.
Abaddon is very well known as scary demon. The gate is the ring. Like it's not rocket science. This one, unlike like
Yeah.
Caliban's War, is a
Yeah.
very missable reference.
As soon as the book is called Abaddon's Gate, we're like, okay, we know what the gate's going to be. We get it.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what the ring's going to be, I should say. But yeah.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Um, but I guess the reason I wanted to do a little bonus bit here is just because I googled it and this adds a little bit more to it. Like, so Abaddon
Mm.
was actually originally not a fallen angel. Um,
Well,
Abaddon was
isn't he a
actually
demon? Yeah.
yes, well, yeah. But so I guess the point is that was only established in the New Testament. Like the New Testament is the first thing that references Abaddon as an entity. Um,
Mm.
in the original like Hebrew Bible, Abaddon is actually a place. Like so specifically, I'll just read this quote. Like in the Hebrew Bible, Abaddon is used with reference to a bottomless pit, often appearing alongside the place Sheol, which is the resting place of dead people. Um,
Hmm.
so like Abaddon is essentially it's a bit vague, but like you should be thinking of it as like part of the afterlife, essentially, like or the place where dead things are. Which given what we learnt about the proto molecules creators,
Hmm.
feels like an intentional like that's got to have been part of what the authors were thinking, rather than just Demon Gate.
Yeah, yeah. I like it. It's the idea of it as a bottomless pit is a really interesting way to, I guess, interpret the slow zone as well. Bottomless not in
Mm,
terms of distance, but in terms of like your relative speed relative to the
yes.
distance you're in, being trapped in this like eternal darkness forever. It's effectively what the slow zone, especially after it's slowed down even more, kind of
Yeah.
inflicted upon them, right? I think
Yeah.
it's a really thematic description.
Yeah, but like part of like the stuff I got from Wikipedia because that's my source. It mentions that like in Hebrew, like Abaddon as a word means destruction or place of destruction, um, which again feels apt for what we saw happen in this novel,
Mm,
both to the human ships that went in there and also to the original owners.
mm, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, cool.
But yeah, like I especially this made me think of like Cortez for the second half of the book was constantly talking about like how they were staring the devil in the face, and he
Mm,
didn't mean the devil as in like a little guy with pointy horns. He meant the devil as in like this higher concept thing, and like now knowing that Abaddon maybe more referencing this concept of the place rather than just the demon. It feels like that must have been almost the direct inspiration for Cortez, specifically bringing up the concept of devils, but not like little devil people.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe that's where the thought came from, because we talked about
Yeah,
how this was a second title, not their original title that they wanted, right? So I
yeah,
wonder if
yeah.
it was partially written and they used that Cortez talking about, or the explicit discussion of God versus the devil to like find a nice thematic alternate name
Mm.
for it.
Yeah, but I guess in my head, this had always been one of the ones like Caliban's War. I was like, oh, Caliban is such a great reference. It works at all these levels, and we haven't talked about it yet, but like you can see some of that for Leviathan as well. This was always the one where I was just like, they just picked a random demon name and gate.
Yeah,
Um, so like learning that
little faith.
yeah, exactly. Like learning that Abaddon's actually like more complicated than that, and actually refers more to like a space where things get destroyed.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, no, like, yeah, this is actually a reference that works a lot better than I gave it credit for.
Mm. Yeah, nice. Well done, James.
Well, should we let's milk talking about what we're doing next for as long as possible. So
Sure,
I'll just do the rest of the outro and
sure. Let's get into it.
there's no discussion question because this is our final episode?
Is
Question
it?
mark.
Stay
Um,
tuned to find out. Not for much longer.
but yeah, obviously, like we'll get into it there. We're not running a discussion question because the next episode is going to be a fair way off.
It's
So
going to be a few months away.
yeah. And we've recorded this one like 3 days after our last one, so we also don't
Yes.
have a discussion question to get into
Yes.
from the last one.
But yeah, if you've enjoyed this show, or you've enjoyed the book, feel free to leave your kind of wrap up comments, what you thought about Abaddon's Gate, in the
Hmm.
discussion thread that will be linked in the show notes down below. And of course, if you want to stay abreast of our crazy and ever changing schedule, then you can check out our Blue Sky. And what's the link for that again, Elliot?
Just search belting at windmills on Blue Sky.
Is that how you do it? Is there no,
I
you
don't.
don't go, you bsky.app/profile/belting at windmills, I think.
Yeah, no, that's way better.
Yeah,
Um,
that type that in. And don't forget the HTTPS colon double
yeah,
slash.
you want to be connected securely. So you got
It
to get
didn't
that S in
work.
there.
I don't know what it is. Just Google it.
Yeah, again, just search belting at windmills. I'm pretty sure we're the only one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and if we don't get 10,000 followers in the next month, we won't do season 2. That's the big reveal.
Yeah, sure.
Um, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's if we don't get 10,000 patrons at patreon.com
Mm-hmm.
/ Doof Media, then we won't
Yes.
do season 2.
That's it. No, should we talk about what our plan is for season 2? So we are going to do a season
Yes.
2 covering the next trilogy of the books. Um,
Yep.
but we're going to do it slightly different. First of all, because Elliot's going to be away for a month and then I'm away for a month. So we're taking a little bit of a hiatus before our next season. But then we wanted
Mm.
to kind of adjust the way we're doing the show so that we're... the original reason why we decided to do it fortnightly was because it was a bit too much of a commitment for us to do every single week. It feels a bit
Mhm.
too intense. But we actually feel like the momentum is better when we do it quickly. These few episodes that we've done pretty quickly for the last week have helped us feel that way. So we're adjusting what we're doing. Instead of doing a fortnightly show, we're going to be coming back weekly, kind of in little mini seasons, I guess you'd call them, right? So we'll
Yeah.
come back and do a weekly show covering each book. And then between books, we'll take a slight gap. So about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe a month of gap between each book.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to the next book weekly. So I guess our first season, we've been doing fortnightly. And then our next 6 seasons will be shorter and weekly.
Yes. But so yeah, at least for the next 3 books, and by the time you're listening to this, the schedule will be like in the show notes down below. Like I'll have updated it, so there'll be a second tab for season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be each book will be weekly, and then yeah, as Ruben said, there's about a month off between each book. But hopefully that'll strike the balance because we think yeah, the weekly carries within the books a lot better, but we just don't want to have to do that for 6
For
months at a time.
a few years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So yeah, on that note, we'll be back on the 29th of June to start season two. And those of you who know the series will know that next up, to start that off, will be the novella The Churn. So that's in Memories Legion. Um, but yeah, so we'll be back
Yeah.
on the 29th of June to talk about The Churn.
Yeah. So see you then, folks. Thanks for
See
joining
ya.
us.